I was already gone before they knew, before the conversation, before the breakthrough, before the meeting where they planned to make their case. I was already gone before they knew I'd left the space. I was already gone before the door, before the question and before the asking for more. Time that I was willing to remain inside that room. I was already gone before they knew, before the gloom. They planned the intervention for a Tuesday in the spring. I had already been gone since the previous everything. Since the moment that I clocked the ceiling in that place. Since I mapped the walls precisely and found no remaining space for growth, for the version of myself I was becoming. I had already started my quiet private running toward the door that opened into somewhere I could be the actual man I was, moving actually free. Not the managed and the edited, not the comfortable fit, but the one that filled the room without apology for it. They came to make their case on a Tuesday in the spring. I smiled and I thanked them for absolutely everything. And I was already gone 3 months before I left, gone in every real sense, long before the final breath of that particular chapter, of that particular room. I was already gone before they even felt the gloom. This is how I leave things, not with fire and not with cold, not with a final statement, not with a story to be told. Just the steady forward motion of a man who read the room completely, and too early for anyone to assume he was staying. He was happy, he was anything but done. He was already in the morning of the next thing to be run. I was already gone before they knew, before the handshake and the how do you do of endings that announced themselves with drama and with weight. I was already gone before they knew. I don't wait. I watched men stay inside the burning because the burning was familiar, because the shape of even damage can begin to feel peculiar in the way that foreign things feel when you've lost the frame of reference for what the undamaged life felt like before the preference for the familiar over-honest took hold and made its nest inside the daily life, inside the managed chest. I leave before the burning starts to feel like home. I leave while the road still offers somewhere else to go. Not out of fear of damage, not out of fear of cost, but out of the understanding of exactly what is lost when a man stays past the honest reading of the sign that told him 3 months earlier, this is no longer mine. To invest the remaining years inside, this is not the place. I was already gone before I showed the leaving face. The face that leaves is not the face that made the real decision. The real decision happened in the private and the quiet, with the kind of cold precision that a man develops when he trusts his own accounting more than he trusts the noise of every room around him. and its endless mountain of reasons to remain. Past the honest reading of the man inside the chest, who was already gone and leaving. I was already gone before they knew, before they knew, before they knew. And what came after is better than what I was already on. The road toward staying longer in the name of the familiar, the road toward the damage of the ordinary, peculiar comfort of a known thing, even when the known thing cost the man his actual life, cost the man his actual spring, his actual expansion into what he was becoming. I left before the cost arrived. I left while I was running toward the life that fit, not away from what I'd lost. I was already gone, and the going was worth every cost. Already gone is not abandonment. Already gone is reading true. Already gone is trusting what the honest man in you has already understood before the mouth to form the sentence. Already gone is moving with the kind of quiet that requires no repentance. I was already gone before they knew, before they knew, before they knew, before the drama and the overdue, before anyone could make the case for staying past the sign. I was already gone, already fine, already gone, already fine, already gone, already me. Already me, already me. Now I sit inside what came after they already gone, and what came after is better than what I was already on. Never asked permission to be this, never waited for the nod, never begged the gist of someone else's understanding of the man inside. I never asked permission to be this. I just ride. Permission to become the man that all the easier versions ran from. No apology for taking up the space I take. I never asked permission to be this. Wide awake. They always had an opinion about the size of my ambition, about the road I chose to walk, about my silence and commission of the life I was designing. While they watched and called it cold, I was building something permanent, while they were being told by their own fear to shrink, by their own need to fit. I never heard that voice, or if I heard it, I let it sit outside the door in morning while I moved through the work, never asking if it mattered to the ones who called it hurt. That I was different, that I needed nothing back, that I moved without permission down a self-constructed track. The only voice that ever mattered in the choosing of the way was the one inside my chest at the start of every day, that either said yes or no to what the day was asking for, and never once consulted the version they preferred. I never asked permission to be this, and I was hurt. Some men live their whole life seeking the approval of a room that will never give it fully, that will always leave the room for one more thing to change, one more edge to soften down, one more version of the man that fits the shape of town. I left that town behind me in the year I understood that the approval was conditional on me being less than good at being what I was, which was the problem all along. They wanted something smaller than the man who wrote this song. So I wrote the song without them in the hours they weren't there, in the 4 a.m. dark with the cold around me like a prayer that had no address. See, but myself and what I owed the man I said I'd be when I first stepped on this road. Approval is a currency that costs more than it's worth. Every time you spend yourself to earn it from the earth or someone else's standard, you move further from your own. The man who needs no approval is the man who comes back home. I never asked permission to be this wide and full and unmanaged and remiss of nothing that a man like me should be. I never asked permission to be this. I'm finally free. Now I move inside a life that I constructed without consent from anyone who didn't build it, from anyone who meant well or otherwise, from any room or voice. This life is the clean product of a man and his own choice, made daily in the practice, made nightly in the dark, made in every hour that didn't leave a mark on any record but his own, in any book but his. This is the life that fits exactly what it is, which is the actual man with no permission and no debt to any standard but the one he carries innocent for himself and keeps with no audience required. The man who needs no permission is the man who never tired. Permission is a cage dressed in the clothes of care. The man who stops requesting it discovers that the air outside the cage was waiting all along to be breathed. The man who never asked permission never believed he needed it to start with. He just forgot for a while. He remembered in the silence, and he walked the final mile. I never asked permission to be this. Lord, never asked. Yeah, never begged the room, never needed the bliss of someone else's yes to make the choice real. I never asked permission. This is how I feel. How I feel. Lord, never asked, never will. This is me, standing still, Lord. Alone was never lonely for a man like me. Solitude was just the space where I could finally be. Every version of myself without the managed face. Alone was never lonely. It was my favorite place. Alone was never lonely. It was mine. The only room where everything ran clean and fine. the truth had room to breathe. Alone was never lonely. For a man like me, I don't grieve. They always said go find someone to fill the empty chair. I looked at the empty chair and felt no need to share what the chair was holding, which was the particular piece of a man inside his own life, with his own release from the requirement to perform for any audience at all, to be exactly what he was, against every standing wall of the life he had constructed from the years of quiet choice. To be alone and full, to be silent and have a voice inside himself that he could trust, to tell him what was true without the interference of what the room needed him to do. Oh, I found my own company long before I found anyone else. I learned to be the one I kept upon the shelf of the people I relied on, of the voices I believed. And what I found was steadier than anything received from outside in the years of looking for the thing that had been in the room all along, waiting there within. Alone was never lonely for a man like me. Solitude was never exile. It was the being free, yeah, from the performing and the editing that company demands. Alone was never lonely for a man like me. I understand. I watch men drown in company rather than sit with their own name, rather than spend an evening in the room that they became, when no one was watching, when no one needed them to be the comfortable and managed version on display for free. To anyone who asked, which was everyone who came through the door they kept propped open, just to never feel the same kind of silence I was choosing every evening of my years. The silence I had furnished with my own thoughts and my own gears, turning over everything that mattered and was real, while they were filling the silence with anything but feel what they actually were. In the room when it went dark, I was getting to know myself, and that was the whole art. Some men fear the mirror that the solitude provides. I went looking for that mirror. 30 years I looked inside, and what I found was not the terrifying thing they promised. It was just the man I was, standing there, the most honest together never once went dim. Alone was never lonely for a man like me. Oh, a man like me. Solitude was never exile. It was the being free. Hey, from the performing and the editing and the company demands. Alone was never lonely. For a man like me, I understand. I've watched men drown in company rather than sit with their own name, rather than spend an evening in the room that they became. When no one was watching, when no one needed them to be the comfortable and managed version on this own release, from the requirement to perform for any audience at all, to be exactly what he was against every standing wall. All the life he had constructed. I walked in needing nothing, and that was the power. Not the loudest man, not the man of the hour, just the man who required nothing from the room he entered. I walked in needing nothing, and the whole room centered. I walked in needing nothing, and they felt it, the absence of the need, the way I held it, like a man who has already everything inside. I walked in needing nothing, and I occupied the tide. Neediness has a frequency. The room picks up the signal. Every request for validation lands like a distant jingle on the ears of everyone who is standing close enough to feel the pull of a man who hasn't built the stuff inside himself that makes the room unnecessary for the daily confirmation of the self he has to carry. I built that stuff alone in the years before the rooms, in the early morning practice, in the private working glooms of a life that was constructing something solid from the ground. And when I walked inside the rooms, I carried what I'd found, which was a man complete without requiring a single thing from anyone who happened to be listening. Need is the leash that the room holds in its hand. The man without the need is the man the room can't command. And I cut that leash so early in the building of the self that by the time I entered the rooms, I put the needing on the shelf. I walked in needing nothing, and that was the power. Not aggression, not coldness, not the man of the tower looking down on everything below. I walked in walked in needing nothing, and the whole room heard. There's a difference between the man who doesn't care and the man who doesn't need the caring to be there to justify his presence or confirm his right to occupy the space he occupies, to hold his own light. The man who doesn't care is just another wound, walking around performing the damage to the room. The man who doesn't need has built the thing inside that makes the need redundant, that makes the leash untied from any other person, from any other source. He walks through rooms like weather, like a natural force, that doesn't ask the landscape for permission to arrive, that doesn't need the landscape to confirm that it's alive. I became that kind of man, not through coldness, through construction, through the daily quiet building of the self-contained function. The needless man is not the man who feels no connection. He is the man who chose the deeper, older direction of connection to himself, which frees every other bond from the weight of substituting for the thing that lies beyond what any room can offer, which is the actual self, fully present, fully furnished, standing without help. I walked in needing nothing, and that was the power, and that was the power. Every room became my room, every room became my room. Every midnight my hour, every midnight my hour. Every silence my companion, and every road my own. I walked in needing nothing. I was never alone. The room still tries sometimes to offer what I've built. They offer the approval, they offer the quilt, a belonging and a fitting, and a being understood. I take the warmth they offer in the way that I should, which is gratefully and lightly, without building the structure of my daily life upon it, without the architecture of my self-regard depending on whether it continues. I receive it as the gift that it is and what remains. After every gift departs, still the full man, standing in his own light, running his own plan. The man who needs the room gives the room his power. The man who needs nothing owns every hour, not in the sense of taking, but in the sense of keeping the center of his gravity inside his own keeping. I walked in needing nothing, and that was the power, that was the power. Every room became my room, every room became my room. Every night my hour, I carried everything I needed in the chest. I walked in needing nothing, and I gave them my best, Lord, needing nothing. My best, Lord, needing nothing, needing nothing, had everything, walked in on the room. Needing us has a frequency, the room picks up the signal. Every request for validation lands like a distant jingle on the ears of everyone who's standing close enough to feel the pull of a man who hasn't built the stuff inside himself that makes the room unnecessary for the daily confirmation of the self he has to carry. I let the years answer every doubt. No defense, no argument, no angry mouth. Just the slow accumulation of the work I did. I let the years answer every doubt. they questioned everything, I kept the line in sight. Kept them on in practice, kept the daily grind. I let the years answer every doubt and fell behind. Nobody left to doubt what I became. I let the years answer, I let the years reclaim. Every inch they said I'd never hold, I let the years answer every doubt, and the years were bold. They had opinions early about what I could achieve, about the road I'd chosen, about what I should believe, about my own capacity, about my ceiling height, about the kind of man I was, and whether I had the right to want the thing I wanted, to build the life I planned. They measured me by metrics I didn't understand, because they were their metrics calibrated to their fear of what would happen if a man refused to disappear into the comfortable average of what they'd seen before. I refused with no announcement. I just opened up the door and walked inside the work and stayed there for the years, and let the years accumulate like the unanswered fears that couldn't touch me anymore, because the work was standing there as the only answer that I was willing to share. Not the argument, not the proof presented, not the case before the room assembled, just the fact of the thing built by the man they underestimated. Standing on the ground he tilted. I left the years answer every doubt, every room that closed on me, every season of drought, every voice that measured me and found me wanting dead. I let the years answer every doubt, and the years said when it's done, it's built, it's standing without argument. I let the years answer, and the years were meant for exactly this, the quiet final word. I let the years answer every doubt, and I was heard. I remember every room that had the early verdict, every face that ran the numbers and declared the market for a man like me was limited, the ceiling low and fixed. I noted every verdict and I filed it in the list of things that would be answered, not by anything I'd say, but by the accumulation of the ordinary, day after day, after morning, after the private grind of a man who let the doubters keep the doubting in their mind, while he kept his hands moving, while he kept his eyes clear, while he let the work compound across the year after year, until the compound became undeniable and the verdict had to change, became reliable, evidence of the man they'd written off too soon. I let the years answer, and the years cleared the room. Revenge was too expensive and too loud for what I needed. The years were the response that left every doubt defeated, without requiring anything from me but the continuing, the showing up and doing, the constant and the morning practice of the work that asked for nothing back, but kept on giving forward down the long and chosen track. I let the years answer every doubt, let the proof arrive without a shout, let the building stand without a plaque or name. I let the years answer every doubt, and they came through for everything I said I'd build. I let the years answer, and the years fulfilled every promise I had made to only me. I let the years answer, and the years set me free. Tonight I sit inside the answer gears, inside the thing I built without the tears of performing for the doubters or the drama or the proof. I just sit inside the structure of the permanent and true thing that grew from all the mornings that the doubters never knew were happening Every room that tried to keep me small, I left bigger. Every ceiling that they set became the trigger for the next expansion, for the next rebuild. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left filled with more than when I came, with more than they had planned. Every room that tried to keep me small, I unmanned. The calculation of my limit and their measure of my worth. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left and left for more. There are rooms designed for a certain size of man, rooms with invisible ceilings built into the plan of what the room can handle, of what the room can hold, of what the room considers acceptable and bold. Enough but not too bold, ambitious but in range of what the room calls normal, what the room calls strange. I kept arriving at those rooms and finding the walls too close. I kept expanding past the frame while they kept up the dose of comfortable reduction of the managed average line that kept the room intact and kept a man like mine compressed into the version that the room had room to fit. I left every single one the moment I was hit by the ceiling and the breathing, by the wall and the motion, by the sense that this was costing more than every notion of belonging should require of a man who pays in full. I left every small room bigger, I left every small room whole. Small rooms aren't always small by floor space or by air. They're small by the imagination of the people gathered there, of what a man can be and what he has the right to claim. I stopped fitting small imaginations and I stopped adjusting my frame. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left bigger. Every no became the trigger for a yes I found inside myself alone. Every room that tried to keep me small, I made my own. I've sat in rooms with men who decided very early what box I occupied and held the label nearly up to my face daily, as though I hadn't read it, as though the years of my own building hadn't superseded it. And I smiled and I continued, and I did the work beside them, and the work outgrew the label long before I tried them. Patience of explaining what was visible to anyone who was paying honest attention to the man and what he'd done. But small rooms don't pay attention to what doesn't fit the frame. They adjust the man before they'll adjust the frame of blame. They placed upon the ceiling, I just walked through the ceiling quietly without announcement, without the complicated feeling of requiring them to see it, of needing them to say that the man was bigger than the box they built for him that day. Every room that held me smaller was a room I left behind, not with anger, not with damage, just with the forward moving mind of a man who understood that the room was not the life was being built outside the room, and through the strife of expansion past the comfortable, past the measured and the known, into every open space that the leaving rooms had shown. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left bigger, left the small imagination, left the small room figure of the man they'd drawn before I arrived. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left alive. More than when I entered, more than when the ceiling pressed, Every room that tried to keep me small, I left expressed. Tonight the room is big enough because I chose the room. I chose the ceiling height, I chose the afternoon, in the morning, in the company, and the size of the ambition that is welcome at this table, without the small condition that I keep it manageable, that I keep it in the range of what the comfortable average considers within range. This is my room now, built to the size I am. No ceiling in the breathing, no apology in the plan. Small rooms are everywhere, they wear a friendly face. They offer you belonging in exchange for the space. You take up when you're fully what you actually are, and the trade is never worth it, no matter how close or how far. The belonging feels from where you stand, at the door deciding whether to compress into the room or keep on riding. Every room that tried to keep me small, Lord, left big. I left every one of them standing tall, left bigger than the ceiling they had set. Every small room I left without regret, without regret, without regret. Lord, left bigger, always bigger. Every room outgrew, Lord. Yeah. There were rooms designed for a certain size of man, rooms with invisible ceilings built into the plan. For the next expansion, for the next rebuild, every room that tried to keep me small, I left filled with more than when I came, with more than they had planned. Every room that tried to keep me small, I unmanned the calculation of my limit and the measure of my worth. Every room that tried to keep me small, I left and left for more. There were rooms designed for a certain size of man, rooms with invisible ceilings built into the plan of what the room can handle, what the room can hold, of what the room. I was my own foundation, nothing borrowed, no base that someone else had laid, no base I'd followed, into a life designed for a different man's feet. I was my own foundation, nothing borrowed, nothing neat. I was my own foundation, all the way down, no handed over solid ground, no borrowed town to stand inside and call my own. Without the work, I was my own foundation, nothing borrowed, nothing shirked. The borrowed life looks good from the road outside the window. It has the shape of built without the debt and without the ache of the building in the cold, with your own hands as the only tools and your own judgment as the only set of guiding rules. But the borrowed life is rented from the man who built the frame, and the frame belongs to him regardless of your name. On the door, on the account, on the years you spent inside. A man who builds his own has nowhere else to hide. When the frame gives away or the owner takes it back, he has the one he built, the permanent, the fact. of his own construction. Every beam his own thought, every floor his own morning, every wall his own boss. With the coin of years that nobody can revoke, because they were his years, and the building is his smoke, rising from his own fire, lit by his own hand, on his own ground that he found and that he planned. The borrowed foundation collapses when the lender leaves. The own foundation stands in every storm and every freeze, because every crack is a crack you understand, because every beam was placed by your own hand. And your hands know the building in the way that only builders know the whole structure from inside, from the ground up to the snow. I was my own foundation.
Nothing borrowed,
no easy ground,
no comfortable sorrow,
of a life designed by someone else's vision. I was my own foundation.
every decision
Mine alone and mine completely.
mine,
And every year of the constructing,
mine,
and
in
every code and every building,
nothing borrowed.
nothing. I watch men build on sand that they mistook for stone. Borrowed confidence, borrowed ground, borrowed everything but bone. And when the season changed and the lender disappeared, the whole construction wobbled on the ground that they had feared. To build themselves from scratch, because the scratch required years, that the borrowed route was skipping with its comfortable shortcuts and its gears. Already turning when you arrived, already paved when you stepped on. I chose the unpaved road and I built as I went on. Not recklessly, not blindly, with the care of a man who knows that everything he's standing on is everything he owes to no one but the morning practice of the daily work, of laying his own stone, of never letting shirk. The man inside the chest, from the job that he was given by himself and for himself in the life that he was living. Nothing borrowed means
Nothing can be taken back.
nothing borrowed means you own every crack. Yeah. Every imperfection in the surface of the ground
Is an imperfection
that you understand because you made it.
in the making of the whole.
Nothing borrowed, everything you own
Is the only ground.
worth standing on alone. I was my own foundation.
Nothing borrowed,
No debt in the ground beneath, no ground I've sorrowed.
over losing.
When the lender changed their mind,
I was my own foundation.
built to last, designed by the man who lives inside the building,
Not by
any other hand.
nothing borrowed.
I was my own foundation. I was my own land. Tonight the ground beneath me is the ground I laid myself. In years nobody watched, in winters on the shelf of history that didn't seem to matter while they passed, but are the only reason that the current structure lasts. Under everything that lands on it, under every test the seasons bring, under every weight the life has required of this building, I feel the ground respond the way that only your own ground responds when you stand on it with your full weight, without a sound of anything beneath you giving way or showing doubt, because the ground is yours and the ground knows what you're about. Nothing borrowed is not the pride of the isolated man. It is the freedom of the man who built according to his plan, and not according to the map someone lent him that would have taken him somewhere other than the place he meant himself to arrive at in the years of the building. Nothing borrowed is the only honest foundation worth the wielding. I was my own foundation.
Nothing borrowed,
Nothing borrowed, nothing shirked. shape of built, without the debt and without the ache of the building and the code. With your own hands as the only tools, and your own judgment as the only set of guiding rules. But the borrowed life is rented from the man who built the frame, and the frame belongs to him regardless of your name. On the door, on the account, on the years you spent inside, a man who builds his own has nowhere else to hide. When the frame gives way or the owner takes it back, he has the one who built the permanent, the fact of his own construction, every beam his own thought, every floor his own bone, and every wall his own. Nobody saw what it cost to become this. Every private year of pressure leading up to this. Every morning nobody counted, every night nobody knows. Nobody saw what it cost to become this, but it shows. Nobody saw what it cost to stand here now. Every invisible battle, every unwitnessed vow, every 4 a.m. that belongs only to the man. Nobody saw what it cost, but the cost was the plan. The cost of becoming a particular kind of man is paid in a currency that is not visible from the outside, and is not recorded in any ledger that the world maintains, and is not credited in any accounting that the world performs when it makes its judgments about who has earned what and who deserves what kind of recognition. And the invisibility of the payment is not incidental to the nature of the payment. It is constitutive of it. Because the payments that are made in public in front of witnesses who can confirm the sacrifice and validate the cost are a different kind of payment. Entirely, they are payments in the visible currency of sacrifice, which carries its own social reward in the form of the validation and the recognition and the story that the witnesses carry forward about the man who made the sacrifice. And that social reward is not nothing, but it is not the thing I am describing, which is the payment made with no witness and no reward and no story and no record, except the change in the man himself, who is the only one who knows what was paid and what it purchased. Every year I paid in that currency, I became more of the man I said I would be in the rooms where I made the promise to no audience but myself. And the becoming happened slowly and without announcement and without any external evidence, until enough of it had accumulated to become visible in the structure of the man. And by then, it was already permanent. Nobody saw what it cost to become this. Every silent year of building leading up to this. Every choice nobody witnessed, nobody saw what it cost, but the cost made me mine. I think about the specific payments, and I think about whether I would make them again. And the honest answer is yes, without hesitation. Not because the payments were not expensive, but because what they purchased could not have been purchased any other way. And I know this not as an abstract claim, but as an empirical fact about my own experience of the available roads. Because I tried some of the cheaper roads in the earlier years, and the cheaper roads produced cheaper versions of the man. And the cheaper versions of the man were not capable of holding what needed to be held in the life I was responsible for. And so the more expensive road was not a sacrifice in the sense of giving up something good for something worse. It was the recognition that the thing I wanted to become required a specific quality of material, and the specific quality of material required a specific quality of process. And the process was not available on the cheaper road, regardless of how attractive the cheaper road looked from the beginning. The price of becoming the man you intended to become is always higher than you estimated. When you set out and always worth more than the price. When you arrive at the other side of the pain, because the pain is the making, and the making cannot be separated from what is made. Nobody saw what it costs to stand this way. Every invisible morning that built up to the day, every private practice, every kept word, every mile. Nobody saw what it cost, but it's worth every trial. I sit here tonight, having paid considerably more than I initially anticipated, and having received considerably more than I initially expected. And the exchange rate between what was paid and what was received only became clear in retrospect. Because in the middle of the pain, the return was not visible. And the only thing visible was the cost. And in those years, the faith that the cost was producing something worth the pain was not based on evidence. It was based on the practice itself and on the understanding that the practice was the only honest road available to the man I had committed to becoming. And I kept paying not because I could see the return, but because the pain was the identity, and the identity required the continuing, and the continuing required the pain. And somewhere in that loop, the man was made. The men who know what I am describe and recognize it, not in what I say, but in how I sit, and how I hold the ring, and how I move through the day with a particular quality of groundedness that comes from having paid for the ground you are standing on with years. Nobody saw what it cost to become this, but it shows. Nobody saw what it cost to stand here now. Every invisible battle, every unwitnessed. I made peace with the pain, not peace with stopping, not the peace of the finished man, not the peace of dropping every burden and walking into the easier version of the road. I made peace with the pain, and I kept the load. I made peace with the pain. It stays, I stay. We have an understanding at the start of every day. It doesn't ask me to perform it, and I don't ask it to leave. I made peace with the pain, and we both just breathe. Making peace with pain is consistently misunderstood as the same thing as accepting defeat by the pain, which it is not. And the misunderstanding costs men something real, because the men who interpret making peace as giving up avoid the making of the peace, and therefore remain in the adversarial relationship with the pain, which is the more exhausting relationship, in which consumes resources that could be used for the building. And I want to be precise about what the peace actually is, which is not the absence of resistance, and not the absence of effort, not the acceptance of a diminished version of the life, but is the ending of the particular expenditure of energy that goes into the insistence that the pain should not be present, and the demand that it remove itself as a condition of the man's continuing to function. Because the demand is never met, and the continuing expenditure on the demand is a tax on the man's capacity that produces nothing in return. And the ending of that expenditure is what I mean by the peace, and the ending of it frees the energy for the actual work. The pain is a permanent resident in this body, and I have stopped paying the cost of trying to evict it, and started using what the eviction was costing me for the work. And the difference in what is available for the work after the eviction attempts stop is considerable. And the work product in the years after the peace is noticeably better than the work product in the years of the war. I made peace with the pain, not peace with quitting, not the peace of the man who stopped and started sitting outside of his own life, waiting for the hurt to pass. I made peace with the pain and kept moving fast. There is a man I know who spent 15 years at war with a pain that was not going to leave. And the war was visible in everything he did, in the quality of his attention, and the quality of his presence, and the quality of his work. Because the war was consuming the majority of his available resources, and what remained for the living of the life was the residual. After the war took its share, and the residual was not enough for the life he wanted to be living. And when he eventually made the peace, not through defeat, but through the exhaustion of the resistance, and the dawning understanding that the resistance was the problem and not the solution, something shifted in the quality of everything he produced, and in the quality of everything he was present for. And the shift was not the result of the pain leaving, because the pain did not leave it. It was the result of the resources that had been going to the war, now going to the living, and the living expanded to fill what was available to it. This is the peace I made, and I made it not once, but every time the war started again, which was often in the early years, and less often as the years continued, and the peace deepened from a decision into a habit, and from a habit into the structure of the man. I made peace with the pain that's been here long enough. We know each other's schedules, we know each other's stuff. It shows up in the morning, and I show up too. I made peace with the pain, there's work to do. Tonight the pain is present, and I am present, and the room is present, and everything is exactly as it has been on every comparable night across the years. And the peace is holding the way it holds every night, which is not dramatically and not triumphantly, but quietly and practically in the way that all the real things hold, which is through the accumulated practice of choosing the peace over the war. Every time the war becomes available, which it continues to do, and the choosing is less effortful now than it was in the beginning, but it is not effortless, and I do not expect it to become effortless, and I do not require it to become effortless. I only require that the peace continue to be the choice I make, and it continues to be the choice I make. And the making of it every day is the discipline, and the discipline is the man making peace with pain. Making peace with pain does not mean making peace with smallness, and it does not mean making peace with limitation, and it does not mean settling for.
I lived without a word and slept fine. No scene, no speech, no farewell line. Just picked up what was mine and closed the door. I lived without a word and I slept fine. Never needed more. Without a word, and I was right. Some rooms don't deserve your voice at night. Some people don't deserve the explanation they request. I left without a word and slept fine past the test. I learned to read a room early. I learned when staying costs too much. I learned the difference between loyalty and the habit of a crutch. Some ties feel like belonging, but they wait in a different name. Some people call it walking out, I call it leaving what became. A drain on every morning, a tax on everything I built. For the drama, I leave without the guilt. No announcement in the hallway, no letter on the table there. I button up and disappear into the cold and open air. They'll ask where I went and why I didn't say. Some exits don't need a reason. Some men just walk away. I left without a word and slept fine. No apology, no rope, no sign. Just a clean relief of a man who chose his peace. I left without a word and slept fine, found relief. There were rooms that needed saving. I tried that road before. Spent years in conversations that kept reopening the sore. Some people are a lesson you only learn by leaving late. I left when I still had something came too late. No bitterness behind me, no score I needed to settle right. Just the understanding that some rooms kill your life. And a man who knows his value doesn't beg the dark to see. He just turns and walks toward morning. He just lets the dark thing be. You can call it cold if that helps you sleep. I call it knowing what's worth what and knowing what to keep. Oh, I left without a word, no performance for the ones who crossed the line. Just a man who understood the cost of staying past his time. I left without a word and slept fine. The city doesn't ask your reasons. The road doesn't need your name. The cold air doesn't judge the man who left the burning building frame. I've seen men stay too long in places that had already made their choice, staying for the familiarity long after losing a voice. That told them this was over, that told them nothing's left to fix. I listened to that voice earlier, and I learned its name at 6. In the morning with the coffee, before the day demanded anything. Just a man and his decision, and the quiet it would bring. Some goodbyes are not dramatic, some are just a door. Some exits have no witness, some leave nothing on the floor. A man who leaves with nothing, owing nothing, owed nothing too, is the freest kind of man there is. And I left clean, and I left true. Oh, I left without a word and slept fine. No, walked away, yeah. No scene, no speech, no exit line, just the cleanest kind of freedom a man can find. I left without a word, and I slept just fine. Fine, but no word. Walked away, slept fine. Every day, Lord. I cut everything that wasn't real. Every fake hand, every bad deal. Every voice that needed me smaller to feel tall. I cut everything that wasn't real, and that was all. I cut everything that wasn't mine. Every borrowed dream, every blurred line, every crowd that needed something I couldn't give. I cut everything that wasn't real and learned to live. I used to carry more than I owned, more obligation than bone, more versions of myself than I had, more apologies apologies, then I done bad. I kept the peace for rooms that didn't deserve the peace I gave. I stayed inside arrangements that were comfortable as a grave. Clean and dark and structured, but nothing grew in there. I paid the rent in pieces of myself that I couldn't spare. So I made a list of what was real and held it to the light. Everything that didn't pass, I let go in the night. Not dramatically, not with a speech, not with a scene for anyone to keep. Just quietly removing what was costing me more than I was willing, more than I could be. I cut everything that wasn't real. Stop performing what I didn't feel. Stop shrinking for the rooms that couldn't hold my size. I cut everything that wasn't real. Open my eyes. Some friendships are just habits, dressed up in a warmer name. Some loyalty is just the fear of changing and the shame. I kept people past their season, past the point they gave, past the point the honest version of me could behave. Inside those walls and still be the man I said I was. I cut them not with anger, I cut them just because. A man who keeps the dead things around him in the name of time is choosing the familiar over the life he could design. So I cut with a clean hand, and I cut without a look back. I didn't need the story to justify the lack. I cut everything that wasn't real, kept only what was worth the steel of a man who understood the weight of what he chose. I cut everything that wasn't real, and the real thing grows. Now I sit inside a life that fits the man I actually am. No costume and no compromise, no borrowed part of the program. Every person in this picture earned the picture they are in. Every room I walk inside is a room I chose to begin. Inside of on my own terms, with the weight I actually carried. Nothing extra, nothing false, nothing that I have to marry to a version of myself that never really was my own. The cutting was the making was the bone. Real things don't require performance. Real things don't need the noise. Real things sit beside you and don't compete for your voice. A man who's cut to what is real is the most dangerous thing around, because he cannot be moved by what he's already cut down. I cut everything that wasn't real. Lord, cut it, yeah. Wasn't real. Every dead weight, every broken deal, every version of myself I kept for someone else. I cut everything that wasn't real and kept myself. Lord, cut it all, yeah. Cut everything,
Kept what's real.
every time. Cut it clean. Lord, yeah. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won. No more translating myself for everyone. No more making my decisions small enough to fit The day I stopped explaining was the day I won, I admit. The day I stopped explaining, I got free from the prison of requiring everyone to see what I was doing and the reason and the cost. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won, nothing lost. I spent years in the courtroom of other people's minds, presenting my case daily, reading between their lines, adjusting what I said to match what they could hear, editing the truth down to something they'd call clear. And still the verdict came back the same as it had been, too quiet or too distant, or something in between. The problem was the trying, not the thing I was. You cannot win the jury that was never there, because they wanted you to fit before you opened up your mouth. The explaining was the losing every time I headed south. The day I understood that I was never on trial was the day the courtroom emptied, was the day I walked the aisle. Out of the whole performance, out of the managed face, into the only life that fit, into my actual place. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won, kept my words for what was worth the sum of everything it costs to speak from the real place. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won, found my space. Men who explain too much are advertising fear. They're asking for permission to be exactly here. I learned that in a boardroom, I learned it in a home, I learned it in the cold street, walking back alone. The men who commanded respect were not the ones who told the most about their reasons, the ones who just were bold enough to stand inside themselves without the running commentary, enough to let the work speak without the glossary. I put the glossary down in the middle of a year that had been asking daily for me to make things clear. Oh, I made nothing clear. I just made a move, and the move was cleaner than anything I could prove. Some things lose power the moment you explain. Some men become smaller every time they stake a claim. And language in the telling, in the showing of the hand. The strongest man I know let the silence understand. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won. Let the work carry what the mouth had undone. Let the results be the only voice that spoke. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won the yoke. Came on my shoulders, off my chest, off everything. The day I stopped explaining was the day I learned to sing. Now I walk into a room and I don't
don't prepare a speech, I don't arrange my entrance to put the doubt in reach of something I can counter with evidence and proof. I just arrive as what I am under my own roof. And I am what I am in every room I find. No apology preceding, no explanation behind. Just a man who did the work and let the work decide what the room was gonna think of the man standing inside. The explaining was the leash I put on my own neck. The explaining was the fence I built to manage the wreck of a confidence that didn't know it didn't need the words. The silence was the freedom I was holding back like birds. The day I stopped explaining was the day I won. Stopped explaining, yeah. No more translating what I was or what I'd done. No more making myself available to the wrong room. The day I stopped explaining cleared the gloom, Lord, one, yeah. Stopped explaining, one, every room, on.
I chose myself, and I did not apologize. Didn't ask the room, didn't consult the compromise. Didn't wait for a permission that was never gonna come. I chose myself, and I did not apologize to anyone. I chose myself, and the world kept going round. Didn't fall apart, didn't make a sound of protest loud enough to make me second guess the move. I chose myself, and I did not apologize. Found my groove. I had been waiting for the signal that it was okay to be exactly what I was, without apology. I waited through my 20s, through the rooms that asked for less, through the versions of myself designed to pass the test, of other people's comfort, of other people's frame, of the version of the man they needed me to become. And somewhere in the waiting, I understood the trick. The signal was not coming, the permission not a brick in any wall but mine that I had built up high around the actual man I've been afraid to try. Being in the daylight without the managed face, so I tore the wall down quietly and I took my place. Not arrogance, not ego, not the pride of the loud man, just the quiet recognition of a man who finally can stand inside himself completely with no apology required. Because the man who chooses himself clearly is the only man not tired. I chose myself, and I did not apologize. No explanation for the man who couldn't I did not apologize truly. Some rooms will call it selfish when a man decides he's done performing the smaller version for the benefit of everyone. But the selfishness of shrinking to accommodate the crowd cost the man inside the shrinking everything he was allowed to be. If he had chosen the harder and more honest road of standing in his actual size under his actual load, without apology for either, without the managed face, without the constant editing of his actual place in the world that he was living, in the life that he had earned through every year of carrying every lesson that he learned. A man who apologizes for being what he is giving away the only thing that was ever truly his. I chose myself, and I did not apologize. Let the ones who needed me smaller realize that the smaller version wasn't coming back through any door. I chose myself, and I did not apologize anymore. Tonight I am exactly what I am, no more and nothing less. No performance for the gallery, no editing for the press of other people's expectations that I spend years inside. I am the man I always was before I learned to hide the parts that didn't fit, the parts that didn't match, the parts that cost me rooms that I was afraid to scratch off the list of places I was welcome to exist. Now I walk inside each room and I don't make a fist. Beneath the table, don't suppress the version that is real. I sit inside myself completely, and I let the room feel whatever it is gonna feel about the man I chose to be. I chose myself completely, and I set myself free. The apology was the tax I paid to stay inside rooms that only wanted the man who always lied about how much space he needed, about how loud his real voice was. I stopped paying that tax, and I walked out just because I chose myself. And I did not apologize. Lord, chose myself, yeah. Let every room adjust to my actual size. No more managing the man inside the chest. I chose myself, and I gave myself the rest. Lord, chose myself. No. The rest. I chose myself. No, chose myself. Yeah, chose myself. No, chose myself. No apologize to anyone. I chose myself, and the world kept going round. Didn't fall apart, didn't make a sound of protest loud enough to make me second guess the move. I chose myself, and I did not apologize. I let them go without a second look. No chapter, no revision, no reread of the book. What was done, What was gone was gone. I let them go without a second look and carried on. I let them go without a scene, no final word, no closing of the space between. Just a clean and simple act of moving forward from the door. I let them go without a second look and wanted nothing more. Some people teach you things by showing you what's not. Some lessons only live in what the leaving brought. I used to hold on longer than the holding served, past the point of useful, past what was deserved by either one of us, past the honest end, into the territory where the damage tends to blend with the familiarity until you can't tell them apart, until the comfortable damage feels like the whole of the heart. I learned to feel the difference earlier than before, the difference between the person and the habit of the door, being open to them daily as though it were a choice, when it had become a pattern long after losing the voice that chose it in the first place. Long after the choosing, I let the pattern go and I called the letting choosing, because a man who keeps what no longer fits is the man who has no room for what would actually fit inside the life he's building through. I let them go without a second look, without the grief performance, without the shook and rattle man who couldn't move, without the weight. I let them go without a second look. It wasn't late, it was the right hour of the right day, the right kind of clean release. I let them go without a second look, and I found peace. There is a grief in the clean leaving that is not about the person, it is about the time inside and all the years that worsen. When you stay past the no and past the honest reading of the room, the grief is for the years, not for the ending coming soon. I grieve those years in private in the way I grieve things now, without the public show and without the wedding how. I just sat inside the accounting of what had been exchanged, and when the accounting finished, I closed the book and changed the lock upon the door, without a letter inside, without a scene for anyone, without the wounded pride, just the man and the decision and the morning after it, when nothing had collapsed and everything still fit. The ones worth keeping don't require the performance of the loss. The ones worth grieving already knew the cost. I let them go without a second look, put down every chapter of that book, kept only the lesson and released the weight. I let them go without a second look. It wasn't late. Now the space they occupied is occupied by something better, not filled for the sake of filling, not a replacement or a letter written to the absence, just the natural expansion of a life that has more room for its own actual mansion of interest, and of people who arrived in the cleaner air that followed the releasing of everything that wasn't there for me in any real sense, in any honest way that produces the kind of morning I am glad to start the day inside, or with the people whose presence cost me nothing of who I actually am and gives me back something. Letting go without a second look is not the cold man's way.
trust the decision of the day he made in the honest hours when the truth was easier to see. He trusts himself enough to let the letting simply be. I'll let them go without a second look, without a second look. Lord, let them go, yeah. Closed every chapter of that heavy book, kept the lesson, dropped the weight, kept the rope. I let them go without a second look. Carried on, carried on, carried on. Lord, let them go. No second look, every time. Carried on, Lord, Lord. Carried on, carried on. No second look.